Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. So, and also at the end, I will post a picture of the spreads, pictures of the spreads at the end. So if you want to check those out, that's where they're at. All right, we're starting with the Oracle Mystical Moments deck for an intuitive vibe of where we're going today. All right, what do we have for Virgo today? That's a lot. Okay. Can you get the same message across with not quite 50 cards? Okay. Okay, that's good. Echoes of last week for sure here. Ooh, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Alrighty. You have changed. We have Red Garden. You've changed in a very obvious way up here, and then a very not so obvious way. A little bit more subtle changes that you might not have shared with other people. I'm going to say they could be sexuality, as the flower does come directly from her crotch. But there's something that you're looking back on to in the past. So you've changed, but there's still part of you that's looking at the past, and it's looking at it with a little bit of a skewed view. And so something back there is really absorbing your attention. You might be seeing it through some rose-colored glasses, but your heart right here is chirping on your shoulder that it wants to move forward. It'd like to go forward with something, but you're still a little, even though you've changed, you're still a little focused on the past. This is being echoed in this card as well. Transformation. Again, you've changed. And this butterfly is about a nearly complete transformation. Not fully complete yet, but nearly complete changes. And you are still looking at the past. You may be looking at who you used to be. Maybe you like who you used to be, or there's something about who you've been, or something back there that really has your attention. And yeah, it's got your attention, even though you've changed so much. I mean, look at how similar these cards are showing up today. Red Garden and Transformation, and they both have a little bit of a similar theme too today. Just this change, looking back at the past. Your mind has changed. The way your mind is more controlled now, or there's something under control here. Your thinking and your thoughts, you're getting a grip on them. You're getting some sort of handle on your thinking here. You are looking at the past, at who you've been, but you have changed, and you're almost done with some sort of transformation, probably a solo transformation, as the caterpillar transforms to the butterfly in a solo state, not in a coupled state or grouped state or something like that. But this has been sort of a solo transformation of who you are. But there's still something in the past that's really got your attention here, and who you used to be, or how you used to be, or something like that. And then speaking of changing and transformation, we have Tiny Triumphs here. This is one of my favorite cards. We have the intellect here, the corvid, the apex species of the birds. And very smart, always patrolling, looking out for anything in the field to grab up. And then we have the mouse, who's usually prey, who's usually out in the field, a quivering mass of sensation and intuitive understanding, because as the prey, it's got to have that awareness always, that electric awareness of its environment, and it's got to almost have, like, eyes at the end of every whisker, on the end of every piece of fur. It's got to be paying attention to its surroundings, right? And because it's very vulnerable. So I read this as your intuition out here. It might have something to do with a home situation or work. And your intuition's popping out in this really big, bold way, and it's going to talk to your intellect. It gets to rule. It's not prey for a moment. for this moment here, your intuition and your sort of bodily way of receiving information, it's not going to take the back seat to your intellect. It's going to pop out possibly a little bit humorously, possibly, but in a big kind of showy way of like, "Da, I'm here, I'm big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful, and I'm going to tell you what's what." So this tiny thing gets to triumph. The tiny thing, the little voice back there, that little piece of information gets to pop out and gets to talk to the king and make jokes and really get through to this corvid, the intellect here. Then we have the gardener. So this card is about growing things. Growing yourself actually does grow your community. When you grow, when you nurture yourself, when you grow, what is this? This is sort of like a lily of the valley here. It's a bulb, it's a perennial, so it's very sturdy and can handle long winters, and comes back every year to bring its gifts to the world. So your sort of sturdiness, your longevity, how you take care of yourself and how you garden yourself actually brings those gifts out into your community. So caring for yourself is caring for your community, because we're all integral parts of the universe. We're all one. And so when you care for yourself, when you care for your own mental health, when you care for your own health and well-being, you are making the whole healthier, and you're making the whole psychologically healthier. The whole world is healthier when you are healthy, just by the fact that you are in it. So, we're all made up of cells, and as healthy as these cells are as healthy as I am, right? So it's that same concept on a larger scale. As healthy as you are is as healthy as the whole. It contributes to the health of the whole. So, so that's about gardening yourself, and then when you have this garden of yourself and you grow really healthy carrots, and you get to take your healthy carrots to market and share it with everybody else. So there's something about I think your health and wellness, and mentally too, that's popping out here and grabbing your attention. To pay attention to it and to make sure that you are nurturing yourself as healthfully as possible. So if you're one of these people that wants to like give to the world at large, and just is always giving, this is a reminder that another way to give is to give health and wellness to yourself, and to garden your own, to pay attention to your own garden, to weed it, get rid of thoughts that aren't working for you. So weeding out your own garden. All right, Virgo. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Okay. All right. So in your recent past, you have this Page of Wands, some sort of surprising new situation. Look, she's out in this desert. So where did this stick come from? There's no trees out here. Where did it come from? It almost feels a little magical. It just was sort of randomly popped into your life. And it's very inspiring, but there is a lot of like, what is this? Is this safe? Is this good? Where did this come from? Look how she's looking at it. She's just like, I don't know about this. So she's just learning about it, curious about it, exploring it. Some sort of new idea, some sort of inspiring thing, some sort of new life. And it was new to her, or to you, or to whoever this is. So something new came into your life recently and kind of took you by surprise. And you're very curious about it. It's very inspiring and interesting, though. And it did come out of nowhere. And yeah. So in your present situation, I believe this might be you because of this other card here. We have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, it has a lot of mastery and clarity over her own truth. What's true? What does she know? What does she experience? It could be actually somebody in your environment, but it's having a similar ring to this one of just focusing on her own business. What's her business? So the kings are looking at, you know, the whole and the whole kingdom and what's healthy for the whole kingdom. But this is an equal vibe as far as like what's healthy for you personally. What is, so this is that, like you don't need to sacrifice for your community. You be you for your community. You be healthy. You be in touch with your garden and who you are for your community. Because sometimes that can actually be healthier for the community than you sacrificing yourself and murdering yourself for the sake of other people. Sometimes getting into this vibe of what's my truth? What's true for me? Who am I? What do I believe? What do I think? And getting very clear on your own thoughts and who you are and your own story, your own truth. So this could be you, or this could be someone around you that needs to focus on that. But with this card right here, I'm saying that this is probably you needing to, or just in this vibe of like, who am I? What is my truth? And this card's here to tell you that your truth is the truth, that your truth deserves to be heard, that clarity that you seek is clarity and will be helping your community. So focusing on your garden and who you are does actually bring something to your community. You don't have to ignore yourself in order to be a benefit to the world. In fact, that's not much of a benefit at all. It can be on the surface, but if we're looking for a deeper, truer world to live in, a better world altogether, that's going to involve all of us going into our truths and digging deep into our gardens and making sure that we're healthy and we're bringing our healthiest selves, our truest selves forward. So in your inner landscape, you have Four of Pentacles. So you could be hoping to have something, hoping to hold something and possess something. You could be really focused on your money, on your job, on your work, because Pentacles are work and money. And look how focused she is on that. And she has it. So the Four of Pentacles usually has like a possession of like, oh, this is mine. I understand what's mine. So maybe you are, looking to your truth, and you might be clinging. And this card doesn't have a bad vibe in the upright. You may be clinging to your truth and holding on to it, fascinated by it. Here you have several things in your hands here, right? And they're creating just a lot of internal fascination. This is a very internal vibe, which is what I was getting from sort of this situation when we were talking about this flower right here. There's something that's happened externally, but there's something that's happening internally that's trying to get your attention here. So, but look at the sense of fascination in each of these cards. You're fascinated by this wand. You're fascinated by this whatever it is that you have in your hand. So there's some sort of internal journey that you're on, that you're very focused on, and maybe it surprised you at first, and now you're kind of getting used to it and kind of a lot more curious about what's going on here, about this little flower, about this secret flower right here. And you're trying to understand it. At first you're trying to understand it, but you're also like realizing how precious it is to you, this new truth that you are uncovering, or this new inspiration, or this new idea, this new passion that you have. You're starting to like embrace it and accept it and see it more clearly. What's at issue here is the Emperor. So this is in reverse. So the Emperor is about who's in charge, who's in control, who has what they need. And in the reverse, and he's got the ball in his court. So he's in charge, he's in control. And so in the reverse, this can talk about, this can talk about strings being pulled, control freak energy, maybe trying to control too much. So that's what's at issue. This could be you. This could be just the environment, maybe like super controlling, and you don't have a lot of wiggle room. So even though you might be discovering these things about yourself and trying to understand this is about this could be not being in control of something that you'd like to be in control of. But typically the Emperor reversed. So the Emperor being like, who's in charge, who's in control here. And the Emperor is all all four kings together. So at this level of mastery. So who is the master? And so when we take it in the reverse, it goes, it's the master gone wrong. It's the emperor gone wrong. So the emperor gone wrong can be just wielding his power ridiculously, just not wielding it, but like you bludgeoning everybody, over controlling, masterful, like pulling of strings, a puppet master in a way. So that can be what's going on in the reverse. Or there could just be confusion of who's in charge, who's in control. It's not very clear who's got the ball in their court, whose play is it, whose turn is it, what is, so there's some issue of like either there being confusion about who's in control and who's in charge, or there's somebody here who's just like very controlling, or the situation is very controlling and has a very narrow definition of something, and people are required, which isn't going to work if you are having this like internal understanding and realization and coming into your own truth. If you have some situation in which someone's trying to control that truth and tell you what that truth is, and you're sort of like, but wait a minute, there's this surprising thing right here, and I'm doing a lot of internal work. So there's something external, and it could be this corvid here too. Hey, I'm in control. I'm usually in control here. Well, not right now, you aren't going to be. Whoever this emperor is could be having a reaction to not being in control. This emperor is this thing, and they're not in control. So what's usually in control could be like out of control or not in control, because we have this intuitive thing. So something that's usually controlling could be, and that would create some chaos and some confusion if the leadership is not leading, or is leading very poorly or very aggressively, trying to force it. So in your environment, you have this Eight of Pentacles. So this is a hard work, very focused work vibe, very focused on your money. This is actually enjoying work. So there's an environment here of people enjoying their work, people taking pleasure and doing a good job. So there's a lot of work going on here in the environment. That's the overall vibe here. Is there's just people really focused, a lot of focus on work, maybe some focus on money, that kind of thing. You've got a lot of pentacles here, so there could be some focus on work. This could be this kind of thing, like you taking care of yourself and in your truth and doing what you want to do with your work is actually going to benefit your work life. Even though compliance seems like that might be the thing that your job or your boss wants from you, you might be having some creative ideas that you'd like to bring into your work situation. With all these pentacles here, that's a possible storyline I'm seeing. Also in your to-do list, this could also be relationship, like a relationship that doesn't fit the norm, or is just true to you, or something like that. Like there's some sort of truth. It could be creativity. The whole gamut. So you'll know what it's applying to you. So here we have your to-do list is the Six of Pentacles. So this is generosity, balancing things out, balancing out relationships, and giving to get back into the flow, right? So things like water, money, emotions, communication, all of that is meant to be a very flowing thing that's going through life, very flowing. And so you need to get into the flow, and one way of getting the flow going again, if you're experiencing a little constipation, some emotional constipation or something like that, you got to get the flow going again. And so one of those the ways of getting the flow going again, of course, is to give, and then that opens up the whole flow thing. So giving. Being generous with some sort of generosity here. It is the Six of Pentacles, so that could be being generous with money. It could also be generous with with your thoughts, with your emotions. I mean, you're getting into, you have what you have, right? You're coming from a place of security or clear understanding of what you have. So from this place of what you do have, of what you do know, of your truth, then give that, bring that out into the world, bring that truth out into the world, and give it, being generous and balanced, and bringing that in. It will create flow. Yeah, so there's some sort of generous energy you need to be bringing into this. And then your possible outcome here is judgment. This is things coming back from the past, arising from the dead, for us to take another look at them. So judgment seems very judgmental, but it is just like, let's just take another look at this. What got buried in the past? What got left behind? What did we maybe forget about? Or what got buried, really? And so it's coming back, and it's time for you to look at them, but looking at them in a more soulful way, looking at them in a more deeply feeling way, and not a shallow way, but we're looking more for the depth of what happened. Is this worthwhile? Is this worth my time? So that's a possible outcome we have here for your possible future, is something coming back from the past for reevaluation. And it's a more soulful reevaluation. It's a more feeling reevaluation, and it's not a shallow reevaluation. It's a more it's deeper. It's got some depth to it. All right, Virgo, that's your reading. I hope that that's helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes. I very much appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful week.